Hello and welcome to this episode of Garage Talk Media, where we discuss One Punch Man, Season 1, Episode 4.
That's right.
And this is also our fourth episode.
That's right. The Secret Ninja is what we're going to be discussing today.
My name's Hammid.
And I'm Joe.
And we're going to go ahead and get right into the discussion.
That's right.
This episode was kind of interesting that it was somewhat of a filler.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really... It advanced the story of the season going forward, but it really just had little bits and pieces that they just kind of threw in there.
Right. And it was also funny as heck, because they've got a new B-class villain we'll get to in a second, and he's as funny as heck, along with this new kind of prissy assassin who also has a sense of pride that gets in his way. So it was a real comical, fun episode.
So to start off, we're introduced to the Class B villain.
Class B villain, exactly.
His name is Hammerhead.
Uh-huh.
And he's doing his manifesto.
Yeah.
Of, we don't want to work. We shouldn't have to work. Why do we have to work to eat? And therefore, people that don't want to work should not have to work. And people that want to work can work.
Exactly. He's kind of a reflection of... what does Bernie Sanders say? Bernie Sanders likes, I can't find the word. Socialism.
Yeah,
he's like a modern day socialist.
But he's not even that. He's saying that people that want to work should work, but everything else should be given to everybody.
Why do we have to work? That people that don't work shouldn't have to work. That they should be able to share food and everything. And people that don't want jobs, they shouldn't have to have jobs. People that want to work, let them work and provide for everybody else. So it's kind of a reflection on what's going on over here in this country. A little bit of socialism going on, free for everybody.
The group is called, he's called Hammerhead,
yes.
And they're called the Paradisers.
They're called the Paradisers, which is funny, because they want to make their point made to public, forcing it down their throats, kind of like a hammerhead. That's why he's called Hammerhead. And they call themselves the Paradisers, although they invoke a lot of violence. They want to just enforce their way with destruction and violence and destroying of buildings of anybody who has money.
Well, they also have a unique look. They're all bald.
They're all bald.
Skinhead looking.
Yeah.
But more importantly, no one's listening to them.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening to this manifesto.
Yeah.
And they realize, hey, society's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And not to agree with that, but just nobody cares what they're saying because they really don't agree with them, I think.
They don't care. Society, they're all into their own world, doing what they're doing, because Hammerhead and his big group of bald thugs are just yelling to the public. Hammerhead is how they don't want to work and everything should be free, on, and it captivates us as watching it. But then his bucktooth assistant says nobody's watching, and then it cuts to all these youngsters just having conversations amongst themselves and on their cell phones. And I've got a side note on that.
Okay.
So a lot of times young dictators are not listened to. There's an interesting connection I'm making to. About 15 years ago, there was a movie called Max. It was the rise of Adolf Hitler, when Adolf started getting into his ideology, and he would start off by giving these very dramatic talks and speeches at brew houses, at beer houses, and he was there in the corner going on and 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 on, and then it cuts to all the guys at the beer houses just sipping their beer, could care less, and that's kind of how the movie ends before he rises to power. So I wonder if the makers of this made a connection there. But anyways,
is it actually based on Hitler?
Yes, it is. It's a great movie called Max. Came out about 15 years ago. But there's my left field connection for the day. Okay. Well,
again, he's got his group of thugs, his gang, and now what we learn later is that they've all got these suits because they've stolen them.
They risked their lives to steal this body armor that makes him very powerful, especially Hammerhead. Nothing can destroy him. He can destroy a lot, right?
Well, and they're going around and they're punching buildings.
Yeah.
They're breaking buildings. Yeah. So once he realizes no one's listening to him, they decide to attack the head guy, the most richest guy there, Zeniru,
exactly, however you pronounce it. Exactly.
He goes, and he couldn't have made his money legally, so we got to go take him down. And they go punch his building, or what they thought was his home.
Yeah.
And it's not really his home. They've got it wrong. But instead of getting mad, like a lot of villains are like, "Oh, you made a mistake, I must kill you." He was like, "As long as you learn, let's go."
He can reason. Exactly. To elaborate on that point, they find this huge tower of the richest man in the area, Zeniro, and it almost seems like a Trump tower. We'll get to Zeniro later, who looks like a Trump type character in there.
So they go to the other building, but in the other building, the Zenuru
You're right.
character is saying, "Hey, I can't just run from terrorists. That
Right.
would ruin my reputation."
Right.
But he's got a bodyguard,
Uh-huh.
and he's gonna supposedly the bodyguard's gonna take care of this. And his name, he's the secret assassin.
Yes, his name, he's a secret assassin, like a real prissy-looking ninja, real young ninja that wears all purple robes and stuff, and hair over his eyes, like all chic and stylish. His name is Speed of Sound Sonic. Speed of Sound Sonic. Okay. Because he's so fast as a ninja that can just whip around the whole room and gets him back of us.
Faster than sound, according to him.
Yes, faster than the speed of sound.
So he confronts the Hammerhead guy and all the Paradisers, and says, "Oh, I'm gonna take you down. This is if you stop now, I'll let you live." And then Hammerhead's like, sends his minions after him. And the violent scene here is, luckily, it was pretty violent, but at the same time, there was no blood. So
they spared us of the blood. Okay, it was manageable to watch, exactly.
Right, which later on is different, but we'll get to that in a second. But I guess Speedo Sound Sonic is so fast with his blade, there is no blood, because he basically chops off all the heads of the Paradisers.
Exactly, about 30 of them. And I want to make a play on his name. That's hilarious. Speedo Sound Sonic, and he whips around faster than the speed of sound, like a ninja. I wonder if the makers were making a play off Sonic the Hedgehog. Remember that video game? Sonic the Hedgehog would spin around and go fast, fast, fast. Kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh!, kind of like Mario Brothers, but he was a brown hedgehog and he was really angry and he just went really, really fast through the game. So I wonder if they kind of borrowed that name for a Speed of Sonic Ninja.
I don't know. We should probably read the manga, but I mean, that would be interesting to understand why they said that.
Yeah.
Because, and then they use other names. I don't know. We just don't know enough about Japanese culture because we're just ignorant Americans about it. But that's fine.
But we like your shows.
We love the Japanese show.
We love the satire and the wit.
So going back to him, he confronts them and basically kills all the minions. And the only one left is
Hammerhead.
Hammerhead protects himself by basically covering his head or shielding his head. And when the blade tries to hit him, it's blocked by the suit. But Hammerhead, comes across as being kind of wimpy at that point. But at the same time, no, he's going to fight. He's going to fight the guy. So he starts throwing rocks at Speedo Sonic.
Huge boulders the size of Volkswagens.
And he can do this with the suit. And that's when Speedo Sonic says, "Oh, he's not backing down. He's not running. I have to really confront him." And Hammerhead kind of gets him into not a trap, but kind of in a corridor where he can attack him. But even still, Speedo Sound Sonic bests him and throws a dart at the back of his head and basically knocks him out.
Right.
Calling his boss, "Hey, I got him. I got his body here." Oh, wait,
piece of cake.
Body's gone because Hammerhead has such a thick head.
Yeah.
He can take little blows like that. No problem.
Yeah.
Now, what we didn't talk about was how this relates to Saitama, the One Punch Man, the character. He's now sitting there going, he's sitting in his apartment looking at the news and hearing about these guys, and he's realizing that he doesn't need to bother with them.
Don't get involved.
But wait, he does.
Right.
Because they all kind of have the bald head like him.
Vanity takes
You
over.
think it's vanity?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
He sits there and he goes, "Wait a minute, they stole my look." I don't see how you can steal a bald look.
Yeah.
I mean, men go bald. I go bald. You have your head.
Yeah, but Saitama's really young, and all those Hammerhead guys, Paradisers, were all really young too. So they saved their head. They hadn't quite lost their hair. That's my opinion.
Well, so that's the only thing that motivates Saitama to go after him. He's like, "Oh, I got to take these guys down."
He's enraged. He thinks they've copied him. Plus, on another note, the news media is saying that those terrorists, the Paradisers, all have shaved heads, and he's thinking, "Oh my gosh, people are going to associate him as being a terrorist, where he's a hero at heart because has a bald head." He gets so angry. Oh, he has to change that.
So he goes out to confront everybody, and people on the streets are going, "Oh, he's one of the terrorists."
The terrorist, one of the Paradisers, and he's all like, "No, I'm not. I'm a hero. Why don't people know this?"
Well, so then that's when he catches up with Hammerhead, and as Hammerhead's running away from Speedo Sonic Sound, or Speedo Sound Sonic,
right? SSS, something like that.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's a play on the Germany thing. Anyway, we'll see.
It's a lot of alliteration there. The translation, Speedo Sound Sonic. Got it.
It's horrible. It's just absolutely horrible.
But it's hilarious.
He gets to Saitama meets Hammerhead's and basically Hammerhead's like, "Oh, hey, you here to apply for one of my minions?"
Exactly.
Like, "No, I'm here to stop you."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, no, you." He's like, "Well, I'm gonna hit you," and he hits him, and he thinks he hit him, but Saitama's still standing, and he's like,
Because he punched him, and all this debris blew up like a quarter mile for like 100 feet in the air, destroying all the forest with all this fire going out and shockwaves. And then Saitama's just there with his innocent face saying, okay, yeah, what was that? Yeah. And that really frustrates Hammerhead, yeah.
It frustrated him so much that he uses some type of attack that Saitama equates to when he was a child.
It was the spin attack.
Spin attack with your arms.
Hammerhead, spin attack. Yeah, exactly. It's like, go ahead.
Well, Saitama basically says, oh, I did that as a child. Yeah, we're not so different.
And it shows a picture of his memory of him being really bone-kneed and his legs locked together, just waving his arms like kind of boyish-like here and there, spin attack, making fun of Hammerhead.
Ends up, basically, I think he tries to hit him. And, no, that's it. Saitama catches him, catches his arms, and Hammerhead doesn't know what to do.
Right.
And so then he basically just says, oh, he breaks the suit with his elbow, leaving a naked
Hammerhead, and Hammerhead is embarrassed, ridiculed, and doesn't know what happened because that's supposed to be a state-of-the-art future technology armored suit, which in the near future, folks, all our world's military forces are going to have these battery-operated military robotic suits. Anyways, that's the whole.
We're gonna have a bunch of Iron Men.
They're going to be able to have soldiers last longer on the battlefield with these big, huge suits. It's similar to the Avatar movie that must have done its research and gotten ahead because there were these big suits, armor-plated, battery packs, and it could have a soldier just destroy things on the battlefield. That's a whole second thought. So the makers must have read into some of that. That's a whole other thought. But anyways, Hammerhead is really, really hurt that his pride mega military suit has been destroyed after he went great lengths to steal it.
Yep.
And he and his
nearly died.
They risked their lives to steal these suits, and One Punch Man just destroys it in one block.
But in that same vein, Saitama wanted to smash him.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I won't let you go. Hammerhead asks, are you going to let me go? He's like, just don't be bad anymore.
Don't be bad anymore. Saitama has a heart. He didn't want to, kill this guy because he was a B-class criminal. He just had a cause, and his cause, though he thought it was moral, is really a lousy cause, and he went in causing destruction. So Saitama, busted his suit, left Hammerhead totally naked, and said, don't be bad anymore. Go run.
Well, in the meantime, as Hammerhead is running away, buck naked, as Saitama says.
Yeah.
Sound of Sonic? No.
Yeah, it's not
Speedo Sonic. Speedo Sound. We're never going to get this right, but anyway.
Not the sound of music. Speed of Sound
Sonic.
Sonic.
Speedo Sound Sonic shows up and says, hey, where's Hammerhead? He's like, I ran that way. He's like, okay, well, I need to defeat you too because you're obviously one of them. He's like, no, I'm not one of them. He's like, no, you're lying. Look at your head. He's like, no, come on, I'm a hero for fun.
I'm a hero. He goes, my name is, he goes, well, yeah, what's your name? He goes, Saitama. And then Speed of Sound Sonic says, I've never heard of you. He goes, what?
Yeah,
never heard of you. So then Saitama's pride is injured too because he's a hero and then this other villain hasn't heard of him.
But in the meantime, Speedo Sound Sonic automatically attacks Saitama, and Saitama stops the attacks.
Yeah.
2 of them, in fact.
Expressionless, exactly.
Right. And that's when Speedo Sound Sonic realizes that this guy has stopped 2 of his attacks. He can't have that.
Yeah, exactly.
You've done 2 of these. I can't have this. I've got to defeat you now. And basically, Saitama's like, no. Oh, you want to test your abilities against me? Fine. But he accidentally touches his genitals.
Okay, I can elaborate on that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Speedo Sound Sonic starts saying, wait a minute. You read into 2 of my attacks. How could you do that? That he's been training to be a secret ninja since his childhood days, and he's perfected all the moves, and he's faster than the speed of sound, and he breaks the sound barrier as he goes whoosh, 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 back and forth, and how could he possibly read into his attacks? So Speed of Sound Sonic jumps up to a tree, jumps down towards Saitama, and says, wind kick, and he whips his foot around, and Saitama just lifts his fist up like that, and the ninja's groin actually hits Saitama's fist, and he gets injured. He lands like, oh, no. Yeah. And Saitama says, oh, I'm sorry, I just put your fist there. I didn't mean for it to really connect.
Your momentum went into it.
Yeah,
it wasn't my fault.
No. Yeah.
Still Sound of Sonic Sound of Speed.
Yeah.
Speedo Sound Sonic.
Ah.
He is very embarrassed.
Very embarrassed.
And he tries to keep a straight face.
With his pride.
Right,
yeah.
But as he keeps talking, you can see it slowly deteriorating. Like, oh my gosh, it's hurt.
Yeah, and his knees are all buckling together, and he's trying to keep him composure, and he's so mad.
And he says, I will come back, I will train, I will defeat you. And then Saitama's like, train hard.
Train hard, exactly. Go for it.
So then we go back to Genos is now getting upgrades.
Yeah.
Because he's not doing well.
Yeah.
And hold on, man, I'm sweating like a
pig.
pig.
It is hot.
Are you? Oh.
Very hot here in Pasadena.
I'm gonna just turn this on real quick.
Okay.
And you need to go faster. What the? Okay. There we go. So, going back to Genos. Genos is at Dr. Casino.
Exactly. He's at Dr. Casino's laboratory.
And he's getting some additional fixes.
He's getting upgrades, which Dr. Casino calls augmentations. Okay. That's going to make Genos as strong as Saitama.
Right.
And Genos is surprised to hear that. It's almost as if Geno doesn't want to be as strong or stronger than his master.
Oh, I think he does, but he doesn't realize that because the people that know how strong Saitama is, know how strong he is. Everybody else that doesn't know just thinks he's just a hero.
Yeah.
But in reality, when Genos sees what Saitama can do, especially when Genos has been bested twice, and he states that in when he's talking to Dr. Casino, hey, I'm been bested twice. You fixed me up twice. I'm still getting, and he's still saving me, and he's so great. And that's why Dr. Casino's going, I can tell this guy is important to you. You must be very strong. And don't worry, I think I may have something for you.
Yeah.
Going back to Genos, he's, I think his character is actually just trying to get to learn. And again, Saitama hasn't given him the time of day yet to be his disciple.
Right.
And so that goes back to Genos shows up at Saitama's again and is saying, and again, Saitama is saying, what a pain. He's reflecting this. Saitama reflects that Speedo Sound Sonic is considered himself now a rival. And Genos is like, well, who is this guy? Who would do this to you? And he's like, no, I don't know, but Genos immediately goes, I will take care of this problem for you. And he's like, well, you're no different. Why are you here? You're as much of pain as well.
Exactly.
And then basically he goes, besides, I've got other things I've got to worry about. And that's where Genos says, well, what is it? And that's when he reveals,
Yeah, that's when Saitama doesn't really want to tell Genos, but Genos says, what is it, master? What is bothering you so much? And Saitama is very hurt the fact that he's a hero. He's been a hero for 3 years, and nobody knows who he is. People still don't recognize him as a hero.
Saitama, right.
Right. Saitama. Yeah, people still don't recognize him as a hero. Don't give him credit for all the villains he's killed and destroyed. Monsters in the past 3 years, and all the people he saved. And Saitama is really hurt and upset about this. How could he be so unknown? And even the new villain, ninja, Speedo Sound Sonic, never heard of him. He reiterates that. And that's where Genos says, you know what? We need to get registered as...
He asked him about that, right? Yeah. And then, this is the great thing about this. They introduced the little bits and pieces. So even earlier, we didn't mention it, but there's a new hero, Newman Rider.
Moomin Rider. He's a nice guy. Moomin Rider. He's a nice guy that gives a thumbs up, and he rides a bicycle, and he has a helmet and sunglasses, and he helps out a little girl whose kitty is in the tree, so he takes out the kitty and gives it to her. And Moomin, everybody likes Moomin Rider because I guess he's a registered hero for the people, but he's just really an ordinary guy on a bike. Because then when all the Hammerhead and the Paradise are storming through the streets, Moomin Rider, after saving the kitty, goes up to them and says, I will stop you guys. Come on.
I'm a bicyclist for justice.
Exactly, and I will fight you. So then all of a sudden, Hammerhead says, okay, get him. And you hear the screen goes blank and you go, splat! And then it cuts to Moomin Rider on the ground. You think he's dead because there's just blood all coming from his head.
I know.
End of story.
The show does very well in decapitating people.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the heroes, there's just a blood splat everywhere coming from the head, and then people are yelling for ambulances.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
So that's how you're introduced to. He turns out he's a C-class hero. He's a top ranking C-class hero.
Got to give him some credit.
Right, and you find that out in the next episode. But they don't tell you specifically what it is.
No.
But they introduce it in little bits and pieces.
Right.
And that's what I like about the show. Going back to now, Geno's saying, nobody knows who you are because have you registered? And he's like, what is this? And they're on the webpage, and it's just so cartoonish.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, if you're a hero, you can try out, and if you
can register to be a hero, drop by and fill out the form, and if you just barely pass their testing criteria, you can become a hero and be recognized in the public, and that you are paid by donations to the Hero Foundation that will pay you to become a hero, and that's how you get recognized.
And Saitama immediately asked Genos if he's one of them, and he's like, "No, I never found the need to.
Right.
Why?
Right.
I'm out for this other cyborg. I'm out for revenge, and why would I do this?" And he's like, "Well, we should do it. If you do this with me, I'll make you my disciple.
I will make you my disciple." So Genos is all excited. Saitama is all excited, and they go for it.
And they fill out the paperwork, and then they put it in real quick after they put the him filling out the application. Real quick though, 2 new guys attack Hammerhead.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. So far, I've seen all through season 2. These guys don't come back, and I don't know what organization they're with.
Yeah, we'll find that out.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking later on, but it hasn't come up yet.
Right.
Through 2 seasons, you never see these guys again so far. And so I'm hoping that this little introduction here will pay off later on. I think I have an idea who they are, but we'll find out.
I guess the writers are planting the seeds and hoping that we all watch beyond the 2 seasons. But it's 2 new, big, tall, strong, monsterish looking guys. One's like all rocks with little beady red eyes, and another one, and they kill Hammerhead.
They don't kill him. Remember his head.
That's right. They throw another knife into the back of his head, and when they leave, then Hammerhead kind of cries, saying, "Mommy, thank you for giving me such a hard skull." So he's really just a kid.
Well, the last part.
Huh?
The last part of that was, "I will get a job."
I will get a job. That's right. I will get a job. Yeah, he'll just give up his whole cause and be like everyone else and get a job and afford your own living.
Well, but they are related to the suits that they stole. They let them steal the Paradisers steal the suits in the beginning that we see at the beginning. So it says, we let them steal it to get the field data. Now later on, Saitama meets another character that I think it may be hero related, but it's not confirmed. So it's just out there. Maybe it has been confirmed. Maybe the manga shows what it is, but as far as I'm concerned, this is a mystery. It's almost, I forgot about them until I rewatched it.
The manga mafia. What if there was a manga mafia?
Well, I think that's what this whole thing's kind of alluding to. If you look at some of this, these animes that are coming out, it's like the other shows are trying to do the same thing. Where I don't know if you've seen Amazon Prime's The Boys.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, it's fantastic. But that's a different review. Going back to this, I don't know if that's the thing. I have a suspicion of what they are. Don't have a confirmation. Hopefully, if it's paid off already, I didn't notice it. I kind of wish it would be more obvious. Like this was related to the Paradise.
One of those new guys kind of reminds me of Gigantor from like the 1970s. I wonder if they're related, but hey, we don't know that. So,
well, the way one of them talks, I think later on it's another character, but we'll confirm that later. Right. We'll come back to this later.
We'll circle back to that.
Hopefully,
circle back,
and then you can tell me, that was related to this, and I'll probably like, okay, right.
Yeah, well.
Going back to this, so Hammerhead's still alive. Now we see at the see the end credits.
Yep.
We see the very end. It's Saitama about to go into test location 6.
Yeah.
With Genos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it's funny. It ends because they're walking in towards this building, and there's like 2 lines of about 30 different ordinary-looking youngsters all walking in. I guess they all want to register to be superheroes. It's like, no big deal. Let's register to be a superhero. Hilarious. And it ends there.
Yeah. Then again, the next episode gets introduced, and it's Hammerhead,
Narrating.
recently reformed.
Yes, recently reformed. I guess now he's going to be a law-abiding citizen, looking for a job, trying to get a job. Big guy in a suit and a tie. You get a job so he can pay for his food.
He wants to do a little PR, but they won't allow it.
They won't allow it.
He just introduces
Yeah.
the next episode, and I think that's basically it. So I like this episode in that, again, it's not a lot of action. Well, a lot of action did happen, but it was minor action. There was no big. Well, there were big. Actually, you know what? It was a pretty action-packed episode.
Right, and like you said earlier, it didn't really lead into the next stories. It was kind of a story almost unto itself. Yeah. However, the end where they register to become superheroes, that's when it does kind of lead into next episodes. But the episode itself was hilarious, satirical, and just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
They had fun writing this episode.
I hope so, because. Or did they not? Did they say, "Oh, wait a minute, we got to throw Moomin Rider in there. We got to throw in Hammerhead. We got to throw in all this guy."
I think they knew what they were doing because I enjoyed watching it so much. The writers and caricature artists had to have enjoyed writing it. That's my take.
Well, that'll be that'll be for next week.
The meaning went through to the audience.
Okay. Well, hopefully we get payoffs next episode. I already know the answer to that, but at the same time, I don't remember a lot of it. So rewatching these episodes is really kind of fun.
Definitely, and trying to get names right and how to pronounce them right and who's who. Exactly.
Okay, so we have no mail for this week because we took 3 weeks off because I had some visitors in town and had to go run around Los Angeles in 100-degree weather.
Right, but thank you for checking back with us. Please watch this episode. Please press like and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Garage Talk Media.
Yes, like, subscribe, and comment if you have any comments. Also on what other things you want to see us do. A lot of people have asked what we're doing with this and why we're doing this.
Because why not? It's fun. We're doing something on YouTube. It's entertaining. We're trying to make it entertaining. We're trying to make it informative, educated, intelligent, and fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, what other show takes place in a car? Come on.
Oh, that's yeah. Let's stay PG here. All right. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Keep up with the manga.
Mm-hmm. Right, and, oh, wait. We got to go. Bye.